Photoshop Chapter 7, Part C. I'm on page 170, Designing Paragraphs of Type. We have just dragged in our guidelines so that we can put our area text in. First thing that we're going to do, though, is zoom out a little bit so we can see more of what's going on. And we're going to click on our sticky note down at the bottom. A sticky note is one way that text can be provided for you. This is a great little thing for a copywriter to attach to an image file. It's a sticky note. All we need to do is pick up the Move tool and double click on your sticky note, and you're going to get your sticky note popped up here, and my text came up selected. If you can't see all of your text, just go ahead and pull down on the panel so that you can get all of it. You're going to copy all of this. So select everything, do a Control-C to copy your text, and next you're going to select the model layer, and we are going to put in a area text box to copy all that text into. Starting at the upper corner on the right hand side where our two guidelines cross, you're going to click down, and if you did what I just did, I just selected the AL from digital. That isn't what I wanted to do. So I'm going to deselect. Now this can create a bit of a problem because now I just selected the text digital, and so I'm going to have everything from my digital text, the size, the font, and all of that is going to be picked up. Click off, select model again, and now back with my text tool, I am going to click and drag from this corner, holding down my Shift key, and I should be able to now click and drag. 4 inches wide is going to take you right about to that guideline that we had. Release your Shift key and drag straight down so that you can get about 8 inches tall, which is going to take you right about to that sticky note. Now that that is selected, again, I have picked up and carried over the size and style of text from digital. So I'm going to have to go in, type in 16 points for the font. Let's take this back to regular for the style. Pro is going to be fine for what we're doing. I want to make sure that my text is going to go in right aligned this time. And now I can Control V to paste my text in. And now my text is placed. It's in a dark green, which we can't really see. We may want to go ahead at this point so you can see it a little bit easier. You can grab all of your text and change the color of it from a dark green to white, which is going to make it much more visible. Now we're going to style everything so that it's a little bit easier to read. We're going to select the first 3 lines that say the trend issue, and we're going to make these different changes. First of all, we do want Myriad Pro or another sans serif font and regular, but you can make your own choices. Change the size of this to 70 points, so we're going much larger. The leading, you're going to have to open up your dialog box to get the leading. Leading needs to go, we can take that to 55 points. There is no 55, so you are going to have to type that in. Tracking needs to be changed to 50, and of course the color is white. Select the word trend and change the font style from regular to bold. And remember to use the actual font to make your change rather than the faux bold, because we're adding faux bold to faux bold, and that's not right. So we're taking that off. Now I'm moving down to the rest of the text, selecting the lower section. I'm going to go to make sure I'm in Myriad Pro regular. This time I'm changing the font size to 22. The leading is going to go to, well, we're really close with the 27 point something, but I want 28. Tracking can go to 0. And make sure that all caps are turned off. We want to make a few more changes to this because right now everything is the same. I'm going to go ahead and hit the commit button just so we can clean this out. And we're going to select what's hot, which is no longer in all caps. We're going to change that to a bold. Again, use the actual bold if you have it available rather than the faux bold. The font size. 28, we're going to change what's not also to bold. I don't know why these are selected. They shouldn't be. And the size to 28 points. Select the phrase coming this year and all the text that comes after it. And because it's against his white shirt, we're going to change the color on that to black. Click on the Commit Changes and save. Make sure you read the section on page 173 about OpenType. OpenType is available just as it was in Illustrator. We also have the glyph panel as well as the OpenType menu. The last thing we're going to do with our magazine cover is to add the rounded rectangle in the upper corner that has the volume number. So pick up your rounded rectangle tool here under the rectangle. Rounded rectangle tool. Draw a rectangle in the space above the letter L in the upper right hand corner. So it's actually going to be over the letter L. So you're going to drag in through about like this. We want it to be about width of 67 pixels. I'm almost there. And the stroke should be 3 points, which mine defaulted off to. Click the fill color. There it is. By default, all the corners in the rectangle have the same radius. You can adjust the radius for each corner separately. You can go back in and edit the corners at any point. Unlink the corner radiuses and change the bottom left corner to 16 pixels and set all the others to 0. With the Move tool, drag the rectangle to the top of the image so it hangs down like a ribbon and its right edge is next to the ruler guide. So I'm actually going to need to drag mine over to the left just a little bit. My font is slightly large and so it's going to run a little bit together in here. Your typeface may be slightly different. If you decide that you want to make a change, remember you still can. All you need to do is select the text for digital, pick up your type tool, and you can go in and make adjustments. So if I wanted to bring this a little bit closer, I could take this and the tracking could go down. And if I change my tracking down to 80, I can actually get that text to fit a little bit better. And the rounded rectangle that I just created, just have to commit my change, my rounded rectangle looks a little bit better. We're ready next to add the volume number on top of the ribbon. First we need to deselect layers. So go to deselect layers and then select the vertical type tool, which is underneath your regular horizontal type tool. Press the Shift key and click inside the rectangle that we just created. Holding the Shift key makes you create a new text box instead of selecting the title. Type in Volume 9, VOL, in all caps. Way too large. Way too large. Go to select all, and we're going to find another sans serif font. If you want, you can still use Myriad Pro. We want a, rather than semi-bold, we would like the light condensed, if that's available, or simply condensed, or light. Take your choice. And change the size down to 14 or 15 points. They use 15. That will work fine. Once you get to where you can see your type, if you want to change it to something else, you can. Make your tracking 10 and change the color to black. Click the Commit Edits, and now use your Move tool to bring this down and center it in the ribbon. Click off or go to Select and deselect layers, and you can take a look at what you've got. We need to do a little bit of cleaning on it. We can go now down to our note at the bottom, and we can right click on it and delete our note. Select yes because we're done with it. We can hide our guides, choose the hand tool, and press Control and your semicolon, or it's Command and semicolon on the Mac, and zoom out. Double click your hand tool, and you can see the entire front of the magazine. I would like you to do a file and save, and now I would like you to take a look at the size of your file. Your file is now a 10 meg file when it's flat. It's a 50 meg file when it is in layers. I want to see all of your layers so that I can tell what you're doing. What I would like you to do next is go into Image Size, and I would like you to change your image size. I would like the resolution taken down from 200 to 100, which is going to make the image smaller. And say OK to that. I would like you to do File, Save As, and you're going to save this as your Photoshop PDF. And make sure that you have Press Quality and Preserve Photoshop selected. Say yes to the dialog box, and you should then at that point get a file that is only 5 megs, which will be much easier to load and put into the Dropbox for me.